Hey, what's up everybody, it's Stammer35 here bringing you guys a new video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys some more of my video game collection. And today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my Xbox 360 collection. These are all of the Xbox 360 games I currently have at the moment of recording this video, which is like November 13th at this moment. But without further hesitation, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this. First up is Alan Wake on the 360. This game is really cool. I really like this game a lot. I remember like when this game was coming out, I was watching like seeing a little bit of gameplay and trailers and stuff for it. I thought this game looked really cool, and I really wanted to play it, but I didn't have a 360 at the time this came out. And when it came out, a friend of mine that I had back in school when this came out, he had a 360 and he rented this game, and like he said, if I wanted to come over and play it some, so I did one day, and just went over to his house and played through Alan Wake, and we just like freaking dang near marathon the game. I never like got to the end, or at least when I was playing it, I never played all the way through to the end. I hadn't beaten it at his place, but I played a really good chunk of the way into it. And this game is really nice. It's a lot of fun. He plays Alan Wake, who's a novel writer, and he's trying to figure out like the weird stuff that's happening to him and his wife when they're supposed to be on vacation from him taking a break from writing and all that stuff. It's a third-person shooter. Use the light to shine it on the enemies and make them vulnerable to gunshots and stuff. You can also have like a flare you can light up and throw down, and brighten up the room, and that'll be like a huge attack against the people in the shadows. It's been a minute since I played this game, so I can't remember like every single thing about it, but this was a really cool game. It had even like really cool like slow motion cinematic type sequences sometimes in it too. Like this one area that I was in, I was surrounded by enemies, and Alan pop a flare, and he held the flare up in midair and just like lit up the whole room, and like the game went in complete like a slow motion camera kind of thing when I was doing it. It was like an action sequence type of thing. It was really cool. I'll have to try to like find what part that was again, but yeah, Alan Wake is a really good game. And also in Control, Alan Wake and Control are now like tied together in a way, so they're like interacting in ways with each other. So Control was another game by Remedy that I really liked and thought was really good. So it's cool that these two games are like connected somehow. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, play Alan Wake. It's a really good game. I definitely recommend it. Next up is Blue Dragon. This is one of the few JRPGs for the 360. I remember a friend of mine. It wasn't the same friend that I played Alan Wake at his place. That was a different friend, but one of my other friends had this game for the 360, and my first time really seeing gameplay of was at his house when he was playing it. And it looks pretty cool. He plays these three kids right here, and I don't remember like the entire story of this game because I never like saw the whole entire game or anything, just like a little bit of it and things like that, so I don't know like the entire story. But you basically plays those three kids, and they get like these, I think they're like shadows, but they're different dragons, and you have them do attacks and stuff through the dragons. It looks pretty cool. So then like years later, when I was making a list of 360 games I wanted to pick up and buy, I remember Blue Dragon and watched some more gameplay of it. I'm like, this game still looks pretty cool, so I put it on my list of 360 games to get, and eventually finally got around to getting a copy. So I'm happy that I have this. And I've said it before, but in case you weren't aware, I'm gonna say it one more time. The boss music in this game is freaking lit. Seriously, go listen to like the boss theme for this game. It's crazy. It is so good though. It's so catchy. it's wild. But yeah, Blue Dragon is a pretty cool game. Can't wait to like get into it at some point. Maybe when I have more time to sit down and play long games like RPGs and stuff. Next I have is Call of Duty Black Ops. I have this game on the PS3 also. This is one of like the few games where I had it on PS3 and also got it on the 360. The first copy I got was on the PS3 since that's what I mainly play on. But as some later on down the line, some of my other friends had like a 360s and they played on that. So when I eventually got my 360, this was one of the games I picked up with it, so I could play Call of Duty with them on the 360 and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much about the same. It's about the same as the PS3 version. I really like Call of Duty Black Ops. It's a really good game. The campaign in it was a lot of fun. It was really good. The multiplayer was really solid in this. I think it's like one of the top up there Call of Duty games to me personally. I thought Black Ops 2 was really good. Next I have is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now I don't have this one on the PS3. I only have the 360 version of Black Ops 2. So I mostly played Black Ops 2 on the 360, with some friends and stuff. I had a lot of good memories with playing this one with friends and stuff too. This game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Black Ops 2. This is the last good Call of Duty in my opinion. Like, I have not bought or played a single Call of Duty since this one, and at this point this game came out in like 2012. Yeah, I think Black Ops 2 came out in 2012, so it's been like 10 years since I've played or touched a Call of Duty game. This was the last good one for me. I have not bothered to play or touch any of the Call of Duty since then. And from what I've been hearing about the Call of Duties after this, especially the latest Modern Warfare 2 2022, from what I've been hearing, I guess it's a good thing. I've been missing out on playing Call of Duty for a while. I guess I picked a good one to stop at, because I got tired. I used to be in that Call of Duty cycle, the one where it's like, man, you hyped up the new Call of Duty, you bought it was cool for a while, then you didn't like it, then you were waiting for the next one, then the next one will get announced, you get hyped up for it, you buy it, you played it for a little bit, liking it, you didn't like it, that kind of stuff. Oh, you used to be in that Call of Duty cycle, but after this, I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm so sick. I feel like this is about the last Call of Duty I genuinely enjoy playing, and it was. I actually really like this game still. I like the guns in it, the gameplay, the kill streaks, and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. There's no way any other Call of Duty. This is the last one I enjoy. This is the last Call of Duty that pissed me off the least. I still got irritated at this game because it's Call of Duty. It comes with the territory. But this was the last one I had a lot of fun with, so I just kept it at this. Also, Treyarch in this particular Call of Duty did a system for the kill streaks that I really liked and missed, and I feel like this was the best way to go about doing it, was the score streaks. This game, if anybody's played this game, the score streaks where when you played the objective, you got extra points that went to your kill streaks. If you got kills while on or near an objective, you got extra points to go to your score streaks. Like, I really like the score streak system. That was perfect, because I was always like the type of person that enjoyed playing the I actually like playing the objective and in the Call of Duty games, and I was always trying to capture the flags and domination, or trying to pick up the dog tags and kill confirm and all that stuff. I always enjoyed playing the objective, and I feel like the score streak was a great incentive to get people to play the objective more often. I felt like it actually worked in this game, so I don't know why they didn't just keep with the score streak system permanently. That was a great system if they ever came up with for this. But yeah, Black Ops 2 was a really good game. I really enjoyed this game. Next up is yet another Call of Duty game, and that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Now, I remember this Call of Duty was the first Call of Duty I got when I got my 360, because I don't know if I said it before, but I'm mostly like the PlayStation kind of guy. I don't have anything against Xbox, whatever. I play games on Xbox too. It's just that PlayStation is my primary console that I play on, and usually Xbox is stuff I get like the exclusives for, or a few multiplayer to play with friends like this. But mainly just get whatever exclusives look cool for the Xbox, and just stick mainly with the PlayStation. But whenever I didn't have a Xbox 360 for a while, and then when this game came out, I think this Call of Duty came out in 2013. Yeah, I think this either came out. Black Ops 2 was 2012, I think. I think this was 2013. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong about that, but yeah, when this game came out was when I got my 360 pretty much. So this is one of the Call of Duty games I had when I got my 360, and boy, I did not like this game all that much. the multiplayer for this game was beyond annoying and frustrating. The death streaks were stupid. I didn't like a lot of the maps. The gunplay was just like this. I don't know, this game was just really irritating. Like Call of Duty will make you mad when you play it. This game is making me freaking lose my absolute mind. That's it. The death streaks were annoying. I just didn't like, the maps, and plus with Infinity Ward Call of Duties, I always felt like, well, this was Sledgehammer. Well, yeah, Sledgehammer Infinity Ward, but when Infinity Ward CODs, I always felt like their time to kills were a lot faster than Treyarch. I felt like in Treyarch Call of Duty, you could actually take a couple shots before dying, but in Infinity Ward Call of Duty, you get shot like 1 or 2 times, whatever, and that's it. Yeah, that was this game, and I never was a fan of really quick time to kills. That was extremely annoying. I hated the heck out of Modern Warfare. I did not like this one all that much. So yeah, I did not enjoy Modern Warfare. I mean, it had some moments in it that was kind of fun, like the me and some friends would get together and play like the 3-team deathmatch thing, or like the hard, or not the hard point, but I forgot what that one game type was, where like have like that flare or whatever on the ground. You have to sit there, get the supply drops, and fill up the meter and all that stuff, and periodically a kill streak or whatever will fall, and anyone that gets it can call it in and stuff. I forgot what that game mode was called, but that was a pretty fun game mode. But outside that, man, it was just me freaking raging at this game most of the time. But yeah, next up is Crackdown for the 360. I remember when this game came out, the main reason why people wanted it to get it was that it came with the Halo 3 multiplayer beta. And this came out in like 2007, I think. So I didn't have a 360 at the time, so I was just seeing stuff about this game. And one of my friends, I think I know he bought this game. I don't remember if he also bought it just for the Halo 3 beta. I don't think he bought it just for Halo 3. I think he got it to play the game too, but one day I went over to his house. He was playing this. This game is really fun. It's like a open world game where you play as like you're like a cop that basically has superpowers, and you have to fight off these various gangs and stuff, and get all these guns and all that. You have to run around the city and pick up these orbs, and the more orbs you get, the more powers you get. And this is that game where you can jump really high. Like you can jump up to the top of whole buildings and stuff. This game is really crazy and really cool. And like I said, with some other games like Blue Dragon and stuff, I remember seeing games that my friends had like this. So when I decided I wanted to get into game collecting, and when I wanted to get some 360 games, I remembered Crackdown. So that was one of the games I put on my list of 360 games I wanted to pick up and get at some point. So now I do have it, so that's pretty cool. From what I hear, the general consensus of what I hear is like this is still like the best Crackdown. Like I heard Crackdown 2 was alright, but it wasn't as good as this one. And then Crackdown 3, forget about it. I remember when Crackdown 3 came out, that game was going through some rough times when it came out and in its development. So I think the general consensus is still like the original Crackdown is like the best one out of all of them. So at least I have the best Crackdown. But yeah, this game was pretty cool. I don't see it advertising that it comes with the Halo 3 beta on here, so I guess this was a later release or something. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of people bought this for the Halo 3 beta that came with it. But it was a good way to get sales to the game. But the game itself was actually pretty good too. Next I got is Crash of the Titans. Yeah, no, a Crash game on the Xbox. Kind of strange, huh? Well, I get outside of I guess something like Wrath of Cortex or whatever. That was like the first multiplayer Crash game, I think. But yeah, I got Crash of the Titans for the 360. I remember, vaguely remember at least when this game came out. And I'm gonna be honest, at the time it came out, I didn't really look at this game or really give it that much attention at the time of day, because I was like a diehard old school. A diehard kind of like old school Crash fan. So I was really a big fan of the Naughty Dog Crash games, like Crash 1, 2, 3, CTR and stuff like that. Because those are the games I literally grew up playing was Crash Bandicoot. So I was like a diehard Crash Bandicoot fan. And then when I saw this game when it came out, I was like, initially when I saw it, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's really, I wasn't too fond of Crash's design. It doesn't look terrible. It just looks kind of like different or whatever at the time, and you know I just didn't really like, I wasn't really feeling this game when it came out, so I never like bought it or gave it a chance when it initially came out. But then I had some years ago, I became friends with a guy named Jeremiah Isaiah. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. He's done videos and talked about Crash and stuff too. And at the time, he kind of convinced me that to give these other non-Naughty Dog Crash games a bit more of a chance. So at some point, I remember that these Crash games came out, so I wanted to buy this game and give it a chance. Like I said, I never played Crash of the Titans. So I still have this game, and I still have yet to play it, but I really do. Hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm actually wanting to like try to get into this, because like I said, initially when it came out, I didn't really give it a chance, because I'm like, it's too different from like the old school Crash that I really like and grew up with. But I wanted to like play this game and give it a fair chance and see what what it's all about. Besides, I heard it's actually a pretty good game in its own right. I believe it was this one. I know there's another one called Crash Mind Over Mutant, which I don't have, but if I like this one, I might, and if I hear, Mind Over Mutant is pretty good, I might try that one out. But yeah, I want to actually give this game a fair chance nowadays at some point. So yeah, one of these days I'm gonna boot this game up and actually sit down and play through and see what it's like. Because all these years I never have actually played this game, and I've bought this game a few years ago. So at some point I want to get into this and see what it's actually what it's like. Give it an actual fair chance. Next up is Dark Messiah of Might and Magic Elements. I've seen this gameplay, this game stuff before. I think it was around even when it like came out. Just always. It seemed like just throughout the years, watched a little bit of gameplay periodically throughout this game throughout the years, and I always thought it looked pretty cool. It kind of fun. It honestly kind of, the way this game looks and stuff, honestly kind of reminds me of like Oblivion, which is what drew me to it. Why I wanted to play it, because I really like Oblivion. This game seems like a pretty jank Oblivion type game, and Oblivion in itself is a pretty jank game. So I'm like, you know what? I want this. I want to try this game out. It's like it's a first-person fantasy, medieval type the game. So I haven't played into this game yet until it's still like sealed. So I haven't gotten into this yet. But one of these days I'm gonna play through this game and sit down, because like I said, it looks pretty fun through the through like what little gameplay I've watched of it and all that stuff. And like I said, it reminds me of Oblivion. So I really can't wait to get into this at some point and try it out, because it looks like a lot of fun, extra jank and stuff. Plus you can have one clip I remember seeing this game even from years ago was where like you can do magic and stuff like that. So, and there's also a magic spell where you can like cast magic, like cast ice on the ground, and if enemies walk over the ice, they'll slip and fall on it. And I remember seeing a clip where like the person was standing on like a scaffold or something like that, and it was like a little down ramp, and the person like cast the ice spell on the ground, and the enemies would just run and slip on the ice and slip and fall off to their death off the scaffold or something like that. I'm like, man, this game is crazy. Next game I have on my list is Beach Time Fun video game. the heavy on the plot, but Dead or Alive Extreme 2. You guys saw my original Xbox video. I have the first one of this. It's the sequel. But yeah, this is the same thing, kind of like the first. It's probably like these different mini games. There's that. I don't know what the mini game was called. There's that mini game. There's like the volleyball thing. I think this is the one where like has like the race jet skis. I think it has like a casino thing in it too, also, or something like that. But yeah, I have the sequel to the Wholesome Beach game. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to trying this one out yet. But maybe one summer we can take a trip to the beach or something like that. Next game in my collection is Death Smiles. This is a shmup. One of like I think one of the few shmups on the 360, or at least English release shmups on the 360. Like I say, this is like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up that I saw and thought looked pretty cool. looks like a lot of fun. I haven't played, a whole lot of shmups. You guys see my other collection videos. I have like a small little bit of a collection of shmups, not a lot. I don't play shmups heavy, but I do like the genre. They can be really fun. This is another one that I thought looked pretty cool. I think I first found out about this game through there's actually a mobile phone version of this game that I downloaded years ago. I don't know if it's still on like the App Store or anything. I guess you could search for it, but it's the same thing as this. It's called Death Smiles, and I played it on the mobile phone. I thought it was pretty fun and stuff, and then I found out that it had a physical 360 release. So I'm like, I want to get that so I can play the game with the controller and on a bigger screen and stuff, and see, it's probably enjoyed even better on that. But yeah, this game's pretty cool. They have like these three, I think these are all the characters in the game, these different characters, and I think they might have different moves and attack patterns or something like that. It's been a while since I played the phone version, so I don't know, but yeah, I tracked down the 360 physical copy of this and bought it, so I was happy I did that. So now I actually can play the game on a bigger screen with the controller and all that stuff. So one of these days when I get back into playing this game again and see if I can actually beat it, because I don't think I beat it on the phone or anything. Alright, next in line is the Dreamcast Collection. This is a little 4-game collection thing that comes with the Sega Bass Fishing, Sonic Adventure, Space Channel 5 Part 2, and Crazy Taxi. I've said before, I never owned a Dreamcast growing up. I think I played a little bit of Dreamcast many years ago somewhere, but I never owned one myself. I would like to have a Dreamcast. I have some pretty cool looking games on there, but I forgot where I saw this at or whatever, but at some point I remember that I came across the fact that they had this little Dreamcast collection thing for the 360. I was like, hey, that looks pretty cool. I wanted to see what kind of games that were on it, and wanted to buy it, so I did. So I can play Sonic Adventure. I can play all these Dreamcast games in HD. It's like Sonic Adventure. I've played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube many years ago. That game's really cool. I like that game. Crazy Taxi, of course, that's a certified classic. It has Space Channel 5 Part 2, and I bought this before I bought Space Channel 5 Part 2 on the PS2. So at the time, this was the only way I had, this was the only Space Channel game I had, and the only way I could play Space Channel 5 Part 2 was on here. But some years down the line, I got the Space Channel 5 special edition on the PS2, so now I can I guess I technically own Space Channel 5 Part 2 twice. And Sega Bass Fishing. I've never been that into fishing myself or anything, but you know what? It's also one here. Might as well give it a try. Plus it's Sega. Sega might make it a little more interesting. Might not just be a generic fishing game. Here's the disc for it. Mine didn't come with the manual or whatever. I looked up to see if this game did come with a manual, and apparently it did. So I'm gonna have to track down a manual at some point. But it's pretty cool that I'm glad I do have this. But yeah, one of these days I wouldn't mind owning an actual Dreamcast and some games for it. Like I said, it's a pretty cool underrated system. It has some pretty cool looking games on it too. Next up is Earth Defense Force 2017. I remember hearing about this game, when it came out and stuff, and back then that was the first time I'd ever heard of Earth Defense Force 2017. And nowadays I know that this started out as a simple series game, back on the PS2 era is when this game originally started as a simple series. And I didn't know that at the time. I had never really heard of EDF. I had never really heard of an EDF before at all back then, so Earth Defense Force 2017 was the first time I'd ever heard of this series before, and I remember seeing gameplay and stuff of it, and I'm gonna have to get manual for this too apparently, and a non-generic case, but hey, it's a blockbuster case though. But this EDF 2017 was the first time I'd heard of this Earth Defense Force series, and I remember seeing gameplay of it. Even back then, it did look a little rough around the edges for the visuals and stuff, but it still looked like a lot of fun. You basically just plays these humans that have to fight these giant monsters and creatures and stuff in space. Like, I have to fight like giant ants and stuff. Yeah, this is giant ants right there. I always thought this game looked freaking crazy, and I wanted to give it a try. So, you know, like I said, with all the other games on my 360 collection, you know, I wrote down a list of the 360 games I, you know, either remembered or found out about, you know, through research and stuff that I thought looked cool, and threw this on here. So I wanted to play it, and now I do have it, so I will get to play it at some point. It looks, like I said, it looks crazy. They're still making Earth Defense Force games to this day. Now, another thing about it, I should have tried to play this in 2017. That would have been funny. Next up is Fear Files, featured in a generic pre-owned GameStop case. But yeah, basically, you know, this is a Fear Files. This is like a couple of expansion packs. It's like Fear Extraction Point and Fear Perseus Mandate that are extra, you know, additions like slash expansions to the original Fear game. If you guys are unaware, you know, I actually did a playthrough of the original Fear on the PS3 and its bonus mission last month during October, so you guys can check that out if you want. Now, I'm not sure why exactly, but for whatever reason, Fear Files, when it released, never came out on the PS3. It was only the 360 version when this game originally came out, so that's why I bought the 360. I wasn't sure why the PS3 version didn't get it, but you know, it's whatever. That's why I'm glad I have a 360 now, and I buy 360 games, so now I can play this. I bought this like a couple years ago. I don't remember exactly when, but I bought this a few years ago, and I was happy, you know, to just have it as you know, it's fine. I can just go ahead and take it. At least I have like the actual disc. I can find like, you know, an actual case and art later. It may have came with the manual. I'm gonna have to do some research on that, but I was glad to have this, you know, at least the disc itself. And a few years ago, I was really happy I'd already bought this because, you know, when this and all the other Fear games got announced as backwards compatible for the 360, this game really shot up in price. I'm like, dang, dude, I'm glad I at least have the disc for it. At least I can actually still play the game through my, you know, own the game physically and still play it myself. So yeah, I'm happy I at least already bought the game when I did. That's why I said I just, you know, take the sacrifices, getting disc only for right now. I can complete it later, but yeah, I think maybe the price for Fear Files has like gone down a little bit. Like the hype for it has died down some. But yeah, I actually never played through this before. Like, and I've been aware of like the Fear Files. I think I've seen a little bit of gameplay of like, I think it may have been Perseus Mandate, or I can't remember which one. I've seen like a touch of gameplay, but I was saving it to just play through myself because I've played through the original Fear many times, but I've never played through either of the Fear Files. So I'm happy I have this. So, you know, maybe next October or something I can play through this, because it'll be actually my first time playing through this, so I can see what the Fear Files is like. Next we got here is Gun for the 360. I'd always seen like gameplay and stuff about this game, even from like around when it came out, because I think this was a I don't think this was like a launch 360 game, but it was really early 360, because this game is on pretty much everything. It's on the 360, the original Xbox, I think, PS2, GameCube. The only thing it didn't come out on for whatever reason was the PS3. I think the only HD version you can get of this game is the 360 version. It didn't get a PS3 version or anything like that. You know, I always thought this game looked kind of cool from what gameplay I've seen of it, and I always wanted to try it out. So I finally got I threw it on the list of 360 games I was wanting, and finally got around to owning it. Haven't played it yet because, you know, of course I haven't, but I really do want to get to playing some of these games at some point. Just gotta, you know, find the time between, you know, work and just life in general and all that stuff. So it's hard to find time, but I really do want to play this. You know, it seems like another cool game, like play during the summer or something like that. But it's like a third-person shooter Western game, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. I haven't played too many Western games, honestly. Like, I've played a little bit like the original Red Dead Redemption. That was pretty cool, but I'm hoping this game isn't like as long as Red Dead Redemption is. I don't think it is. I think this game's a little more linear, a little shorter. It's just, you know, like I said before, it's hard to find the time to play like extremely long video games and stuff like that. Like, the time for them just isn't there, so I prefer like shorter, more linear experiences right now. So I'm thinking Gun will fit that, and this looks pretty cool. It's made by Neversoft, which is a pretty good developer. So I've heard good things about this game too. So I've been wanting it for a while. Next I have here is Halo 3 ODST. I'm pretty sure this was another game I got with my 360. Like whenever I got my 360, I think it was another game I got with it. Or definitely around the time, because I remember I had this too. It's like one of my first 360 games, and it's pretty cool. It comes with like the ODST campaign missions for Halo 3, and it comes with the Halo 3 multiplayer for the 360, which nowadays I believe they shut the multiplayer down for the Halo 3 on 360, which that's pretty sad. That multiplayer has been going strong for all these years. Yeah, I have Halo 3 ODST. I've played a little bit of this. I don't play through all the way through, but it's a cool game. Definitely have to play through like the entirety of the campaign for this and stuff. The hero was pretty good. I just didn't play too much into it. I mainly was just like dabbling in the multiplayer of it, doing the multiplayer for Halo and stuff. The first Halo I really sat down and played was Halo 3. Like my friend had the original Halo, just standard Halo 3 on the 360 back in the day, and me and him actually played through the campaign and that in co-op, which apparently Halo can't get a campaign co-op nowadays for whatever reason. But yeah, it was pretty much my first like real sit down and introduction to Halo was through the campaign co-op in Halo 3. And I've always said, like, I'm not a die-hard major Halo fan or anything like that, but I like Halo. It's a pretty cool series, and it's pretty good games and stuff. One of these days, I wouldn't mind getting the Master Chief Collection and really sitting down and playing through Halo 1 and 2. That'd be pretty cool, because I still remember the sheer amount of hype and stuff for Halo 2, but I didn't have an Xbox back then, so I never played it or anything like that. But yeah, I always thought Halo was a pretty cool franchise, though. I definitely want to try out the first two games and take in all of what Halo was about back then. All right, next up, featuring yet another generic GameStop case, Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360. This is yet another one of the few Japanese JRPGs that came out for the 360. Then I don't have the disc in here. I think I put the disc and some other thing that was a little more it was a little less flimsy disc, because they were all loose discs. I'm pretty sure disc 1 I think disc 1 is in my 360 right now, and then I put the other ones in a different, something a little more sturdy than this to keep them safe, because it's just loose discs and stuff. But yeah, this game looks really, I always thought this game looked really cool. I remember coming across this game. I don't remember exactly how, but somehow, someway I came across this game actually from a piece of the music in the game. Like, this game has a really nice battle theme. Like, this is one of those games where I found out about it and got interested into what it was about because of the music. The battle music, just a plain regular encounter battle theme in this game is really nice. I thought I always liked listening to it, and I had never played the game at the time. It's what made me interested and made me aware of this game. So I've always wanted to try to play it throughout the years, and now that I have got into game collecting, this is the reason why I got into game collecting, is to play games I either found out about or saw something that I always wondered about and thought were cool but never played, so I can get into them and buy them and try them out and stuff. I've played a little bit of this game. I haven't played all the way through because it's a 4-disc game. It's a pretty lengthy game, but I've played a little bit into this game. It's really cool. You play as like this main character. I think his name is Kane or Kane. I forgot how you're supposed to say it. To say his name is exactly my fault, but and basically, he's like this immortal guy that is just lived forever and stuff, and you get to like see some like flashbacks and memories or really read through flashbacks and memories and stuff of like all the stuff he's seen and he's been through since, like, he's immortal and he can't die, and like the people he's met and what's happened to them and all that stuff. It's actually kind of sad. Like, some of the flashbacks you read through and stuff are actually really quite sad. It's really nice though. Like, this game is cool. I really want to pick this game back up again and play more into it. It's really fun too. I actually like the combat system in this game too. You like hold down the A button while a ridicule like closes in, and you have to time the letting go of the A button at the perfect time, and depending on where the ring is, you'll get a good or bad attack and do damage based on that. It's turn-based too. I like turn-based RPGs. So it's got a really the Square Final Fantasy type feel to it. I haven't really gotten into Final Fantasy myself, but just playing this game, the way it like plays and stuff, just gives me a Final Fantasy vibe to it. And when I tested this game out, I'm pretty sure I played it on my Xbox One. I don't know if you guys can see it back there because it's like so dark, but that's my Xbox One X. And that's my PS3 over there and PS4 up there. But when I first played this, I'm pretty sure I played it on my Xbox One X because I'm pretty sure this is backwards compatible. Dude, this game looks amazing. Like the visuals in this game are so stunning. It's so sharp, so good quality. Like, man, this game is incredible. This is really, really good game. I definitely want to play through more of this at some point in my life. But yeah, if you have a 360, if you're collecting 360 games and you like RPGs or something, you want to try RPGs, definitely recommend Lost Odyssey. This game is really good. Like I said, I haven't even beaten this game yet, but from what little I've played of it, it's a really good game. I definitely would recommend playing this. It's really good. Next up, we dealing with a big boy. That ape King Kong. Big man. But yeah, now next I got is Peter Jackson King Kong, the official game of the movie. This was like a really, really cool looking game. I remember seeing this game like when it came out and stuff. I was always thought it looked cool. I always wanted to play it. I've said before when I talked about this game that the earliest time I remember seeing this game was because of G4 and an episode of Cheat that they did on G4 of this game, and they just did like a little mini walkthrough of like how to get past parts in the game and stuff. I remember sitting there watching it like, man, this game is really, really cool. It's a first-person shooter. Well, it's part first-person shooter where you can play as Jack and you run around on this island and stuff. And you have to fight like this giant dinosaurs and various different like insect creatures and stuff. And the other parts of the game, so you actually can play as King Kong himself. And then the game goes third-person where you climb around and beat up the dinosaurs and all that stuff. This game looks so sick, and I've always heard really good things about it, and I really wanted to play it for a long time. So eventually I finally got around to snagging myself a copy of this game, and man, oh man, I can't wait to play. I always heard this is like one of the best movie tie-in games ever made, even to this day. This is like one of the higher quality up there movie games made, and from what I've seen of it, like I said, it looks really cool. I also like how this game's visuals and style are too. Like this game just does stuff that's really cool. Like the game pretty much doesn't have a HUD, so the game is totally HUDless. There's no ammo counter or anything. I actually like that. It gives this game like a more immersive type of feel, more grounded look and feel to it. It looks really awesome. This is a mechanic I always thought was really neat in this game, to where like, since there's no HUD, there's no ammo counter or anything, so when you're playing as Jack, you actually have to press and hold a button for Jack to like physically check the amount of ammo he has on him, and he'll shout out how much ammo he has on backup, on standby. So I thought that was really freaking cool. So yeah, this game just has like a lot of style and stuff like that. It just looks really cool, and it makes me really want to play. And I just heard good things about it, so I'm happy I finally have this. I definitely cannot wait to get into this. Like I've always wanted to play this game ever since I saw it. Like I said, when it came out, and this was like an early 360 game. I think this was 2007, wasn't it? I don't know. I can't find the copyright on the back says 2005. Well, this game did get multi-platform releases. This is on like the PS2, OG Xbox. I think it's on the GameCube too. This is pretty much the only HD version of the game though, and this is I'm pretty sure this is backwards compatible too. So this is another game. I'm glad I bought it when I did before the backwards compatibility shot it up way too much, because like I said, this is pretty much the only HD version of this game you can play. Like you can play this game on the computer, however I heard the computer version is very, very difficult to get running and a pain in the ass and all that stuff, and that's part of the reason why I don't like playing games on PC, because I don't feel like dealing with that. I can just buy this, put the disc in my Xbox One and just play straight away. So I don't have to worry about none of that nonsense. So this is basically the only HD version of the game that you can get on and play. So yeah, this game just looks really freaking awesome. I cannot wait to play this. Also, I heard that in the making of this game, Peter Jackson was taking it real serious. Like, usually movie-based games don't have the best track record. Usually they just throw them together and they don't care to, just slap them together for a quick paycheck, just to tie in with the movie and all that stuff. But I heard that Peter Jackson was really involved in this. Like, he took the making of this game very seriously, and it shows. He really respected games and respected the game as an art form, and he really thought, this would be another good way to tell the story of the game as alternative to the movie version of it too, which I've seen the movie of this. It's been a really long time, but I've seen the movie. I thought the movie was pretty good too, just very long. It's like a 3-hour long movie, but yeah, that's really cool and really nice of Peter Jackson to like take the development of this game seriously and actually like try and put effort into it. It really paid off and showed, and even to this day, like I said, people consider this still one of like the top best movie tie-in games ever made. So I really cannot wait to finally get into this myself and see what it's all about. This game looks so awesome. Alright, we're on the last little handful of games here, so I'm gonna just keep it moving. Next up I got is Phantasy Star Universe. This was yet another game that I found out through because of a friend of mine, the same friend I played Halo 3 with and stuff. Like I said, he had back in in those days, he had the 360, so if I wanted to play 360 games, I'd go over to his house, and I had the PS3, so if we wanted to play PS3, we'd go over to, come over to my house, we'd play games in there. God dang, I miss those days. I miss stuff like this, even like, games like this where like, I don't think this was ever on PS3. I think there was a PS2 version of this, but HD wise, there was never a PS3 version, so it gave you a reason to like want this, like I said, like this and Alan Wake. And I remember when Dead Rising was coming out, that was the game that made me like want to get a 360 because Dead Rising looked so cool. But yeah, I miss like stuff like that in games where like there'd be something like just on this one specific system that made you want to buy it. Like I said, I never had anything against owning multiple systems. It's just like PS3 is what I mainly play on, and the 360 would be stuff I could only get on 360. And that was pretty dope. But either way, Phantasy Star Universe, like I said, my friend had a 360. This was one of the games he had along with Viz, Blue Dragon and stuff that he was playing at his house, and I thought this game looked pretty cool. It's a action RPG. It actually has an online mode on it too. You can play online with other people on stuff. It's not. I don't know if it counts as a MMO. It might be like a light MMO or something. It says only multiplayer 1 to 6. Yeah, it's not like a full-fledged MMO. It has like a single player mode and stuff you can play in it, but it just looks cool. You play as this guy named Ethan. I think his name is Ethan Weber or something like that, but he's like the main character, and he like takes place in space and all that stuff. And yeah, I don't remember like the full-on story of what all happens in it because that was like a long time ago, and I didn't like play through the game all the way myself. I was just played a little bit of it and mainly just watched my friend play it because he played more, was more into it. But I also thought this game looked really cool and I wanted to play it. And at the time I did not realize this was like a whole franchise. Like, I don't think I'd ever heard of Phantasy Star back then. This is like a whole, like, this franchise dates back for a while. I think at the time I saw this, I'd never heard of Phantasy Star. I didn't know what it was. I thought this was new. Well, I mean, this game was new, but like this series wasn't new at all. It's been a while. It's been around for a while, but this is my first like time ever hearing or finding out about Phantasy Star. And then years later, I found out this was an ongoing franchise that's been around for a while. They still make Phantasy Star today. I think a relatively newer Phantasy Star came out like maybe a few years ago or something like that, or just somewhat fairly recently. So yeah, they still make Phantasy Star games, but I always thought this game was cool, like the way it looked and played and all that stuff. Like, I like action and turn-based JRPGs. Like, two of my favorite RPGs of all time is Tales of Symphonia and Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King. One is an action RPG, the other is turn-based, and I love them both. So I like action and turn-based RPGs, so I can get down with either one. So this is another game that I remember my friend was playing, and when I was collecting, looking for 360 games to collect, I remembered this and threw it on the list. Like I said, like with a lot of other games I've picked up. So Yeah, this game was really nice though. I want to, get into it and more, remember, all what the game was even supposed to be about. I guess you can read the pause to read the synopsis there or something, but yeah, even for like the multiplayer, I think you could like create your own little character and stuff in the multiplayer, and then run around and do missions and all that stuff. It's a pretty cool game. Next up, I have here is Prey, the original Prey from like 2006 or 7, I believe, when this came out. But yeah, this was a launch title, or a real close launch title to the 360 when this first came out. That's another game I remember seeing a lot of like gameplay and stuff of when it came out, back when I was like really looking into like stuff that was coming out and all that stuff back then. I always thought this game looked pretty cool. It's a first-person shooter where you play as this guy named Tommy. Him, his girlfriend, I think her name was Jen or Jennifer or something like that. But him, his girlfriend, and his grandpa get kidnapped. Get abducted out of their bar that they're working at by aliens, and Tommy gets free, and he has to like fight off all these monsters and stuff to save his girlfriend and his grandfather and things like that. And you get like these cool spirit powers and stuff like that. At some point you get all these like crazy looking guns and things like that. I always thought this game looked kind of cool. Like I said, I never had 360 when it came out, so I just always seen the game but never got to play it. So now, yeah, there she is, Jan. But yeah, I always thought this game looked cool and stuff, and I still kind of vaguely remember the X-Play review of this game, because that was another game I watched about on G4, and I remember the X-Play review of this game. I thought the review was pretty funny, and the game looked kind of cool. I think they gave it a pretty good score, but I don't remember exactly what that was. But yeah, this is the original Prey before they rebooted it in like 2015, 16, whenever that newer one came out. And yeah, I've always wanted to play this, so now I finally have it. Now I really will get to try it out at some point. It's a shame the sequel for this got canceled, because the sequel for this looked like it was going to be really, really good and interesting, but it's a shame it got canceled, and then they had to reboot it, so they probably won't go the direction with this was going anymore, which is unfortunate, but Okay, next up in the list is Quake 4. This is another like early 360 game I remember seeing gameplay of back when it came out. Thought it looked pretty interesting back then, and remembered about it. Wanted to try it out and play it. This is this is one of the few Quake games that I think, I may be wrong, but this is one of the few Quake games that have like a single player mode. Because I think Quake is usually kind of known for like multiplayer stuff, but Quake 2 and then this Quake also have a single player modes too. And when I saw this game back then, this game always reminded me of Doom 3. Like whenever I see this game, whenever I see Doom 3 or something, it made me think of this game. And I actually played through Doom 3 for the first time myself, back on the PS4. I actually made a video of me getting the platinum in that, if you guys wanted to check it out. But yeah, playing Doom 3 reminded me that I had made me want to play Quake 4. I'm like, man, I miss like shooters kind of like this, where you just like walk around and pick up like ammo and armor and stuff, and find like little secrets and all that stuff. It reminded me a lot of the Quake 4 from what I'd seen of it. It made me want to play it. Alright, now I'm going to tell you guys a quick little fun fact about this game. There's actually two versions or variants, whatever you want to call it, of Quake 4. There's actually two different ones. There's this version, and then there's another version. And this particular version, this specific version, is the only one that comes with the bonus disc that includes a playable Quake 2 on it, and a Quake 4 making of. This is the only version that comes with it. For you collectors out there, if anybody doesn't know that, if you're just curious, where the way to tell is because of the logos on the bottom. The version that comes, as you can see, the disc this is the main Quake 4 disc, and this right here is the bonus disc with Quake 4 in it. And the main way to tell which one is which is the logos right here. The version that comes with the bonus disc will have the Raven software logo and the ID logo on it. Even on the back, it'll have the Raven and ID. Yeah, the Raven logo and the ID software logo. That's this version that comes with the bonus disc. We'll have that one. for the bonus disc. The version that does not come with the bonus disc will not have the Raven Software logo on it. Instead, it will have the Bethesda logo. Because I think at some point, I forgot how the whole story goes. I think Bethesda might have acquired them or worked with them. I'm sorry, I can't remember the full story, but basically Bethesda, got like the hold of ID or something like that, and they reissued this game or something like that, and the reissues with the Bethesda logo does not come with the bonus disc. So if you ever wanted, the specific version of the game that came with the bonus disc, if you wanted to know which is which, or if you wanted the one that didn't have the bonus disc, if you wanted both versions or something, you just want to know the difference, that's how you tell the difference. The Raven Software means the bonus disc is included. If it has the Bethesda logo on here, it does not include the bonus disc. So yeah, I just wanted to let people know about that in case, I don't know, people weren't aware or something. That's how I found out about it. Next up we have here for the 360 is Rumble Roses XX. This is the sequel to the original Rumble Roses, which is on the PS2, of which I have. If you guys watch through my PS2 collection video, you see I have the first Rumble Roses as well. I remember seeing this game somewhere. I don't remember where, when it came out. I was like, that's a game. And then I was, like I said, just get more games I found out about, and wanted to try them out, so I put it on the list and eventually tracked down the copy. I believe I found this at a GameStop. Yeah, I went back when they were still selling 360 games and stuff. I came across this at a GameStop a while back, and I had saw it for a good price. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be harder to find. I feel like it's one of those games probably gonna shoot up in price later if I waited to buy it or something. When I found it at the GameStop, but it didn't come with the manual. I had the case and the disc and stuff, but it didn't come with a manual, so I had to get the manual separately. But that was fine. Probably still, saving money buying it that way than if I just waited or bought it online. So when I came across it at GameStop, I'm like, yeah, I'm buying this today. Yeah, so it says the sequel to Rumble Roses. I've tried out the first Rumble Roses. It's pretty fun, like a wrestling, fighting game kind of thing. It's pretty fun, but man, that game gets really tough after a while. No joke, the game is actually pretty hard. I'm not even joking. For real, this is a pretty difficult game. I haven't played this Rumble Roses just yet, but at least I have the sequel, so I have both Rumble Roses games. I thought it was kind of funny how the first Rumble Roses was only on the PS2, and then the sequel is only on the 360. This didn't even come out on the PS3. I thought that was pretty funny, but it's whatever. That's why I like collecting for multiple consoles, and I have both games, so I can play more Rumble Roses 1 and then this one, and you'll see which ones I enjoy the most. Alright, next I have here is a copy of the Serious Sam collection. It comes with the 4 different Serious Sam games. It comes with Serious Sam HD, the first encounter, Serious Sam the second encounter, Serious Sam 3 BFE, Serious Sam 3 Jewel of the Nile, and Serious Sam Double D XXL. So this is a collection of all of the Serious Sam games. I think they've since come out with the newer one. I think I remember seeing something about a Serious Sam game that I hadn't seen or heard of before. But basically I found out about Serious Sam. The first Serious Sam game I played, I'd heard of Serious Sam before years and years ago, but I've never been that big into playing games on computer, so I never played Serious Sam before. And then one day some years ago, the first Serious Sam game I really played and sat down and played was a Serious Sam 3 BFE on the computer, which I think BFE stands for Before First Encounter, so I guess it's a prequel to the other ones. So that's the first Serious Sam I really sat down and played, and even though I haven't played them before that, I was aware Serious Sam was this really arcadey kind of arena almost type shooter where you just go into an area and have to fight off a whole bunch of waves of enemies and stuff, and including the enemies with the headless bomb toting enemies that somehow yell even though they don't have heads. But I would play through Serious Sam 3 BFE on the computer a long time ago, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. And I'd heard the other series before the first encounter Serious Sam and stuff, and then at some point somehow I forgot how exactly, but I came across the fact that they had the Serious Sam collection on the 360. I'm like, you know what? I've never played the other Serious Sam games, and I wanted to play like some of the other ones and stuff. So I thought this collection was pretty cool. So it has, you know, the one that I played plus the other 2 games and the DLC for the 3rd Serious Sam. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pick this collection up and play it and try out the other Serious Sam games, see what they're like. So I'm happy I found out that they have this and I bought it. So, you know, one of these days now I can really sit down and get into the Serious Sam games at some point. Alright, and the final Xbox 360 game I have at this moment is 2 Human. I remember, this is another game I remember, you know, when it came out and stuff, all the talk about it and all that. It's another kind of, a little bit of an infamous type of game here. This is this is a third-person action RPG made by, I think it's Silicon Knights. Yeah, Silicon Knights made this. And I remember when this game came out, it got kind of panned by reviewers and stuff. It said like the controls were kind of weird. I think this is that game where like you attack with one of the analog sticks. I think it's the right analog stick. Instead of using the face buttons, you actually use the right analog stick and you point it in the direction you want your character to attack. So it has kind of like a bit of a funky control style to it. So that was one of the things that reviewers criticized about, and I always remember, even to this day, one of the biggest criticisms I remember seeing about this game was like, apparently whenever you die in this game, the reviving scene supposedly takes forever or something like that. I've actually never seen the revive scene. Like, I specifically have not watched what the revive scene even looks like when you die in this game, because I said I wanted to like experience it myself through like whenever I actually play the game myself, just to see if it's like really as bad as like people are making it out to be. So whenever I play this game, whenever I like die at some point, I'll actually get to see this infamous revive scene, because apparently it lasts forever or something. It's like the criticism that people had about it. But yeah, this game has a really interesting development history. Even like years after like the game came out, like I found out like really interesting things about this game. Like I said, this game has a really interesting story development history, from like how it started to like what happened to this game. Like I'm pretty sure most people know at least what happened to this game. And in case you didn't know, like basically, you know, Silicon Knights, like back then you had to license out the use of the Unreal Engine, because this runs on Unreal Engine 3. And back then you had to pay to use the engine, so you had to license it out license out the Unreal Engine to Epic Games to be able to use it. And basically, I forgot the whole entire story, but basically, Silicon Knights like stole some parts of the engine. They were using Unreal 3 engine to make this game, and they weren't supposed to. And something happened, and basically, you know, the Epic Games wanted the Silicon Knights to show them, you know, prove that they weren't, you know, prove that whether or not the Silicon Knights said they weren't using the Unreal Engine 3 to make it. And Epic Games basically said, alright, bet, and told them to show them like the, you know, tools and code or something like that in the engine. And when Silicon Knights showed them it, they basically could see and tell that they were using parts of the Unreal 3 engine when they weren't supposed to, because they didn't pay for the engine, they didn't license it out. So basically they had copies of this game recalled and destroyed, you know, a lot of copies of this game recalled and destroyed because of that, because they were using the stolen engine assets when they weren't supposed to. And then, you know, Silicon Knights got into some really hot water for that. You know, despite that, this game has really never been expensive. Like, even when I bought this game, I only paid like, I think $4 for it. And even despite the fact that copies of this game have been recalled and destroyed, it's not, you know, the price you're sought after at all. I mean, like I said, when this game came out, the reviews weren't too nice about it, so it really wasn't that well received or that well regarded of a game. So despite that, they never drove the price up or anything. I mean, you know, a game not being very good has never stopped a game being expensive in the first place. The retro prices just be wild in general. So just because a game is bad doesn't, you know, stop it from going for a lot of money. But, you know, this game just, for whatever reason, never blew up in price. So, you know, I guess that's a good thing. You know, people that want to buy it, they can for a really cheap and reasonable price. So, you know what? Yeah, I always remember stuff about this game and saw, you know, a little bit about it. Wanted to see what the game is like, so I said, you know, it's only $4, so I decided to pick it up and try it out one of these days to see what it's like. But, you know, basically it's an action RPG, third person. It has like, it actually has like the the lore and the world building stuff. This game is kind of interesting. It uses what type of mythology? Does this game use Norse mythology? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's Norse mythology. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to look into it to be completely sure. But I believe this game uses takes cues and stuff from Norse mythology into like the story and like how the the world and stuff is. It's based in Norse mythology. So yeah, that was actually a pretty cool like thing about this game was like how the story was. It didn't pan out well because the Unreal Engine stuff and the game just wasn't all that well received. I think they were planning to do like sequels and stuff to this, I think, but after all the stuff that happened, it fell through. But I have not played Too Human myself. Yeah, I was trying to avoid looking too much into it. I said, despite what I heard about the game, I still wanted to give it a chance, just to see what I think of it myself. So one of these days, I'm gonna play this and play through it and see what I think about it myself. But yeah, I've heard some of the criticism and complaints laid about this game before too, and oh yeah, also something I didn't know about this game back when it came out, but I only found out about years and years later. Dude, this actually started development as a PlayStation 1 game. Like, this game was in development for so long. It started out as a PlayStation 1 game originally, then got canceled. I think it was supposed to be it started out as a PS1 game, had some trouble with that or something, stalled in development, got canceled for PS1. I think it was supposed to be a GameCube game, and then that got canceled, and then it finally came out on a 360 in like 2007 or something like that. So yeah, this game was in development for a real long time. It was one of those kind of the development stories for this game. But yeah, the development story behind Too Human is really interesting. So if you guys are ever interested in that, just check it out for yourself. But yeah, I want to give this game a shot myself one of these days. And lastly, I'm just go ahead and throw this game in here because I only have this one Xbox One game, so I don't really have anywhere else to put it or do any videos on, because it's just this right now it's the sole Xbox One game I own. But the one Xbox One game I have so far at this point is Rare Replay. So I thought I'd just go ahead and throw this in here with my 360 games. But Rare Replay is pretty cool. It's like a collection of all these old Rare games that came out over the past few years, like Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer and stuff. Some really, really old games from I think it was a ZX Spectrum or something like that. Yeah, I always thought this was really cool, and I always wanted to play this because this has quite a few of the games that I've always wanted to play. Just recently, earlier this year, back in February this year, I actually played through Cameo Elements of Power for the first time. I actually did a little gameplay video of me trying out Cameo. This game, I've since beaten Cameo. It's a really good game. That game was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the different monsters and stuff you could transform into. The worlds were gorgeous and all that stuff. Cameo was really cool. I enjoyed that game, but it has other games. I remember when Cameo came out as a launch title for the 360, I thought it looked cool and I always wanted to play it there. So that's one of the games I maybe want to get the Rare Replay to play it. And then the other various games I've wanted to get that were on here were I've played a little bit of Banjo-Kazooie at a friend's house on his N64 years ago. My friend also had Nuts and Bolts for the 360. He had just the 360 game itself, so I've played a little bit of that also. Let's see. Oh yeah, Grabbed by the Ghoulies is one. I've always wanted to play Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I've heard negative things about it, but it's like I said, it's one of those games where it's I think it looks kind of interesting, so I still want to give the game a shot myself. But yeah, Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Jet Force Gemini I heard was kind of a fun game. And oh yeah, it has the Perfect Dark games on here. I've never played any of the Perfect Dark games, so that's another one I wanted to play was the Perfect Dark games. The Viva Pinata game is on here. I think one of my other friends actually had the 360 Viva Pinata game, because I remember going to his house and seeing it and stuff. And then at some point they actually made a cartoon for Viva Pinata on the Fox box that I remember watching back then. So yeah, if y'all didn't know that, fun fact, Viva Pinata actually got a cartoon animated series on the Fox box back in the day that I remember watching. And yeah, Cameo, that was one I always wanted to play. I finally played Cameo. That was cool. It's got Killer Instinct on here. But yeah, mainly just Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Cameo, the Jet Force Gemini and the Banjo games are mainly what I wanted to play on here, but I'm willing to try out, you know, all the other games on here. It's like a collection of like 30 freaking games, so yeah, I'm definitely wanting to try these all these games out. That's why I never got stuff like Grabbed by the Ghoulies on the original Xbox. Like, if this wasn't on here, I actually would have bought Grabbed by the Ghoulies for the original Xbox, but since it's on here, I'm like, I'll just play it on here then. But yeah, Rare Replay is pretty cool, so I'm happy I have this and want to play some of the other games. So I feel like I want to get into the Perfect Dark games pretty soon at some point. It's got the original Battletoads on here. I've never played that, so that's something I can like get into. That game's supposed to be like stupidly hard, but yes, the final game I have for my Xbox 360 and Xbox One collection as of right now. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much my entire Xbox 360 collection, along with my original Xbox collection. That's every game I own for the original Xbox and Xbox One as of this particular moment in time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm glad people have been enjoying my collection videos I've been putting up lately. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. Please, you know, tell me what you guys think about my collection. Is there any games I have here that you guys want or already have, or anything like that? You know, I want to hear y'all's thoughts on what you think of my collection, or what you guys would want to add to your collection, or what your guys' collection is even like for in terms of 360 and things like that. And I'm almost done with my collection videos. I still gotta upload my PS4 collection video, my PS5, and my handhelds, and then I think I'm finally done with these collection videos. So I got a few more for you guys, and then I think I've shown off my whole physical games collection I have up to this point. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm Star35 and I'm out. Please don't forget to leave a rating, comment, and subscribe. Peace.